So welcome back to AWS Solution Architect Associate. So in today's session, we'll be going through Module 14 Guided Lab, which is hybrid storage and data migration in AWS Storage Gateway file gateway. So I've started the lab and close this terminal. So here, after completing this lab, we should be able to configure a file gateway with an NFS file share and attach it to a Linux instance, migrate a set of data from the Linux instance to an S3 bucket, create and configure a primary S3 bucket to migrate on-premise server data to AWS, create and configure a secondary S3 bucket to use for cross-region replication, create an S3 lifecycle policy to automatically manage data in a bucket. Okay. So let's start with task 1, reviewing the lab's architecture. So this is how our architecture would look like. We'll be working in 3 regions, US East 1, US East 2, and US West 2. So we'll have the Amazon EC2 instance in the US East 1, and we'll have the file gateway instance in the US East 1. Also, we'll have primary S3 bucket will be in the US East 2, and we'll have the cross-region replication S3 bucket in the US West 2. Okay, so let's start by creating a primary secondary S3 bucket. So let's start the AWS account. So here we'll go to S3 and we'll be creating a multiple buckets. Okay, so let's go to S3 and let's create multiple buckets. It's guided. So we need to create a bucket in the region US East 2. Let's choose US East 2 and let's say learn with Pratap 001, and then we need to enable versioning, like bucket versioning. Okay, so let's enable and let's go and create bucket. So also let's create another bucket. So it should be in the region US West 2 in the Oregon region, and we should enable the versioning. Okay, so let's create another bucket. Let's say learn with Pratap 002, and this should be in the Oregon region, and we need to enable the versioning, and let's create a bucket. So now we have 2 buckets created. So one it is in the Ohio US East 2, and the other one is in the Oregon region, which is US West 2. And let's continue with task 3. We need to enable cross-region replication. So select the name of the source bucket that you created in the US East Ohio region. So this is in the Ohio region. Let's choose this and let's go to management and let's go to replication rules. So we need to go and create replication rule, and let's choose the name here. Let's create a replication rule. So the rule name will be this. The status should be enabled. Source bucket should be for choose a rule scope. Select apply to all the objects. Apply to all the objects. So let's browse S3 and let's choose the one in the Oregon US West 2. Let's confirm if we're doing right. So we need to choose the bucket, choose browse S3 and select the bucket which you created in the US West Oregon region. Correct. So now let's choose the IAM role. The IAM role should be S3 CRR role. S3 CRR role. Okay. And let's save and let's submit. Let's save. And here let's say when prompted, we should say when prompted. If you want to replicate, then choose no and then choose submit. No, and then let's submit. So now we have enabled the cross-region replication in the bucket which is hosted in the Ohio region, US East 2, as mentioned in the architecture. So now let's go and upload few files in the US East Ohio region. So this is the Ohio region. Let's go here. Let's go and upload a file. Let's add files. So let's choose learn with Pratap. Let's upload this file and let's upload. Let's close this. So now we have this file here. So since we enabled the cross-region replication for this bucket, so we should have the same object in the other bucket as well. So I should say, like, it may take few moments like to replicate here. So let's keep on refreshing until we get it. So you see we uploaded that object here, And now we are able to see the objects, the same object here also, because we enabled cross-region replication in the bucket 1, right? So let's continue. So task 4, configuring the file gateway and creating an NFS file share. So in this task, we will deploy a file gateway appliance such as Amazon EC2. We then configure the cache disks and select the S3 bucket to synchronize our on-premise files too, and select IAM policy. Okay, so let's go to storage gateway from services. Let's go to services. Let's go to storage gateway. So let's open storage gateway. And at the top of the right console, verify that the current region is North Virginia. So it should be in the North Virginia region. Let's go to North Virginia. And let's create a gateway. And let's follow along. So the gateway name should be file gateway. And the time zone should be -500 Eastern time. So gateway name should be file gateway. And this should be -50 Eastern time. And then gateway type should be Amazon S3 file gateway, and the host platform we will choose Amazon EC2. Amazon S3 file gateway, and then let's choose Amazon EC2. And here we need to customize our setting and choose launch instance button. So let's say customize, and let's launch the instance. So a new tab has opened. Okay, so a new tab opens to the EC2 instance launch wizard. This click automatically selects the correct Amazon machine AMI. Okay. So let's go and follow this point number 20. So we need to launch an instance screen. So the name should be file gateway appliance. File gateway appliance. So we don't have to do anything because it's already selected. So here when you choose the instance type, it should be T2 extra large. T2 extra large, right? So let's choose T2.extra large. Okay, and here we should choose VOC key if I'm not wrong. Let's go and see. The key pair should be VOC key, and then we'll need this key pair later on, like to send to mount the NFS. And let's go in the network setting. We should choose edit. Let's go and edit here, and we need to choose the on-prem VPC. I'm not wrong. Should be on-prem VPC, on-prem subnet, and we need to enable the auto-assign public IP. On-prem subnet and auto-assign public IP. And let's see what we have to do about the security group. So under firewall security group, choose select an existing security group. Select existing security group. For common security group, select the security group with file gateway access. So let's look for so this is the file gateway access. And also we need to select the security group with on-prem SSH access. So let's choose on-prem SSH access for this. Okay. And then now this security group is configured to allow SSH connection to port 22. So now we need to add a new volume. Okay, let's new add volume. Let's say add new volume, and we'll say we need to add 150 GB. I think yes, it should be 150 GB. And then let's launch an instance. So we have successfully launched an instance. So we need to wait until this instance state changes to running, and the health check also is passed complete, successfully. So your file gateway appliance instance will take a few time to initialize. Monitor the status of the deployment and wait for status check to complete. So let's wait until this point. So it's finally running. Now we need to wait for the status check. So currently the status check is initializing. Let's wait until the check is passed. So finally, after waiting for a couple of minutes, so we have seen this status check. So let's continue along. So when you select the file gateway instance, then in the detail tab below, locate the public IPv4 address and copy it. And let's choose this, and let's copy the IPv4 public IPv4. So this is it. So return to the AWS storage gateway tab in your browser. it should still be the setup your gateway on Amazon EC2 screen. Check the box next to I complete all the steps above and launch the EC2 instance and choose next. So we finally finished it. So let's say I completed and let's say next. Let's paste the IP address. For the service endpoint, select publicly accessible, and then choose next. Let's choose next. So in the step 3 review and activate settings screen, choose activate gateway. So let's say activate gateway, and then let's configure gateway setting. So CloudWatch log group should be deactivate login, and for CloudWatch alarm, no alarm, say no alarm, and then a successfully activated gateway appliance message displays. I think this will take a bit of time, so let's wait until this moment. So finally we have this, so it's completed. So let's configure. I don't think we have to choose any text. It was completed, but I don't know, like, why do we have to do it again? So it's visible now. Let's configure. So I don't know what it was happening, but it's running now. So let's continue. So like we need to start creating a file share. Wait for file gateway status to change to running, and let's go to file share. File share, and then let's create a file share. Create file share. So gateway, select the name of the file gateway that you just created. So this is the gateway. The protocol should be NFS. And then we need to choose the bucket. We need to choose the one with in the Ohio region. So let's choose someone with the Ohio region. So this is the Ohio region, and choose customize configuration. So let's go to customize configuration, and then we need to, for file share name, use share and choose next. So let's say share, let's say next. And then in this screen on the Amazon S3 storage settings screen, configure these settings. Storage class for new objects S3 standard, it should be S3 standard, it's okay. Guess MIME type and gateway file accessible to S3 bucket owner, both should be checked. So yes, both are checked. And access your S3 bucket with an existing IAM role. So I paste the FGARN, which you can retrieve by following these instructions. So let's go to detail, let's go to show, and we need to copy this ARN. So let's copy this ARN, and then let's close this, and I need to paste it there, right? So let's paste, and let's go to next. So in the file access setting, accept the default setting, and let's choose next. So we might get a warning. Yes, we are getting, so we can ignore that. So let's go to next. Scroll to bottom, review of the review and create screen, select create. So let's go and create. So now we have created a share, file share overview, and storage gateway. So we need to refresh this until we see this running. So the status will be changed to available. So it's still updating. So finally, the status is available. Select the file share that you just created by choosing the link. Let's select this, and then at the bottom of the screen, note the command to mount this share on Linux. Okay, so these are the commands. We have this command here. Okay, so now we need to mount the file share to the Linux instance and migrating the data. Connect to the on-prem Linux instance. We're not a Windows user, I'm a Mac user, so let me follow this. Let's go to detail, let's go to show. Let's download this Pam file so that we can connect to the instance. So it's in the download. So choose the download Pam button and save the lab user Pam file. Okay. Note the on-prem Linux instance. Oh, it was there. Let me go to show again. So this is the instance. Copy this as well. So now let's go to downloads. So I have my terminal open here. I'm currently in downloads. Now what I have to do is I have to do this chmod 400 for the lab user.pem. Chmod 400 for the lab user.pem. So we're giving the root permission here. Okay. So after that, we need to go and log into the instance. So let's paste and let's paste the IP address. Let's press enter. Let's say yes. Wow, amazing. So we're finally in the EC2 instance. So you should now be connected to the instance. So let's say ls/media data. So we have here around 20 images. Okay. And let's create a directory that will be used to synchronize data with our S3 bucket. So let's copy this. Let's paste. So we've created a directory. So now let's mount the storage gateway with this Linux instance. So to mount that, like, let's go to this and let's copy the Linux command, and let's go here. Let's say sudo mount, and I need to pass the path here. So the path is basically this one. Sorry, should be space here. So you see, we should run with the sudo and it should end with this one. So let's run this command. Okay, so we have successfully mounted. To see if we have successfully mounted, let's say we need to write this df-h. Let's run df-h. And you see, we have successfully mounted here. Amazing, right? So now it's time to copy the images which we showed earlier. Let's copy all the images here. Nice. So now after I copy these images, I've mounted into this S3. These images should be now available in the S3 bucket. Okay. So now let's go to the S3 bucket. Let's go here. And you see we have all the images here, which was available here, right? So we mounted the images here. So that means, so one more thing, like the images should be available in the bucket, in this bucket as well, right? So it's taking a bit of time. So the images should be available here as well. Run the bucket page and select the bucket that you just created, like that you created in the Oregon region. Verify that the images file will replicate to this bucket. Okay. So the images should be available here as well. So let's wait until the file is being replicated. So it's mentioned here, like it may take up to 15 minutes. I'll keep refreshing until I see this. Oh yeah, finally. So all the images are here now. Correct. So with this, we have successfully migrated data to Amazon S3 by using AWS Storage Gateway in File Gateway mode. So now our data is stored in Amazon S3. We can act it like on a native Amazon S3 data. So in this lab, we created a replication policy to copy the data from to a secondary region. We could also perform other operations such as configuring a lifecycle policy. So let's submit our work. Let's say yes. And let's see our grade. Yeah, finally. So we're able to score 40 out of 40. Okay. So I hope you are able to follow along with me, and I hope you are also able to complete this guide lab. So hope to see you in another section. See you there. Bye bye.